Hello and welcome to Loki, and we got the second game between Ganala and Vortex coming up right after. And Vortex saying he is not that fond of this one, but this should be nice. Haven't seen Ganala. I think Ganala is up to about 14 games now or so. Not sure if he's played this map before, but it's actually this map was there on 3603 on the FA ladder. And we can see Ganala on second air with a total of 6 speed gens and also some mech marines. Mech marine is going to go straight through the middle. He's going to try to cut off an engineer coming up to the top. It's a very nice place to get, and it looks like yeah, an engineer is coming right there. It's a good guess there from Ganala. Engineer going to the bottom for Ganala. Be curious to see where Ganala chooses to send his ACU. And also an engineer going to the top. An engineer going, so first 3 engineers expanding an ACU building. Actually first 4. 2 engineers to this position. Also some Selines going through the middle. These Selines can spot that mech marine. Yes, they have spotted him now. So you guys see Vortex, he's got to respond here and save his engineer. And you see if that was quick enough. It was just quick enough. I would see it is a bomber now coming out from Vortex. Didn't really look at his build, but it appears that well, I'm not sure which came first, but he does have a bomber coming out now. Engineer and a power spam. Also engineer is expanding. He's able to save his Engie. Going to a very important position. It's going to be a big spam of factories. And here comes a bomber. And a bomber as well for Ganala. So both Ganala and Vortex played very similar. Some land factories as well as the main base. It looks like Vortex will be able to sneak in here with a couple tanks, kill off these engineers. A lot of reclaim. Mech Marines coming back. These probably won't be able to save against the tanks, however. So I'm not sure if pulling these back against these tanks is a good idea. Ganala trying to micro those, but no chance. It's a total of 6 kills. One of those tanks dies, but absolutely brutal there from Vortex. We also see a very important bomb there. Looks like it misses its Engie. A bit of luck for Vortex. An unsuccessful dodge. Looks like dodge straight into that bomb. More bombers from Ganala. Ganala can take off that engineer. It would be very nice for him. It looks like a little more air from Vortex. And tank moving down for Vortex. Vortex also leaving a Celine here, right on that mask ejector. It's going to be nice for him. And looking at Ganala, it looks like he went to the top with his ACU, while Vortex is moving to the side. So the ACUs are going to be in opposite corners. Still looks like, in terms of air, a little better for Vortex in terms of total numbers. In terms of map control, it's a really hard call. But here we got, it's going to be a victim. It's going to be a rock picked up by Vortex. But it looks like these tanks are going to avoid it. And if this tank for Vortex can take out that engineer, it's making a radar. That'll also be nice. Looks like a drop now for Vortex. He's going to try to take over the top corner, and that is going to be significant if he's successful. He did cover it with some interceptors. And some more air factories now for Vortex. And there goes that tank. So Ganala looks like he's going to have the bottom, but he's going to be challenged by this ACU. ACU now for Vortex making some land factories. And establish a nice base, but he's been scouted. And that looks like a radar plus some land factories plan. An engineer for Ganala moving in. Let's see how much success that has. It's been scouted. A drop from Ganala. Ganala 2 engineers in the power spam, a single air factory, 5 land factories at base, and he's establishing a base just like Vortex. So both players nearly mirror images of each other. Here come the drops. This is pretty weird how players who have never seen each other play are playing so similar. And this will be a successful drop. This can be an Engie drop from Ganala. And nearly at the same time, this time this is just some Ardean tanks, but they're going to have a big effect. They're going to have to kill that Hydra. Some tanks not moving through. They're going to try to take out the mask ejectors. This is NGs and tanks, so this is a little better drop there from Ganala. few more units and more capability. If he can get a base established behind Vortex, would be very nice for him. Also, Ganelon getting quite a few units, but yeah, these units should have moved. Nice bomb, there goes the Artie, and a response from Ganelon. Ganelon taking out mask extractors, and we're seeing map control shifting in Ganelon's favor here. Another drop to land for Vortex, and looking at the ecos here, minute 8. Vortex big mass problems, enough power though, 7,000, about 40 mass production. Ganelon about 40 mass production, a little less power, but yeah, very similar. And now tank battle, that looks like Ganelon a little more organized. Actually, not organized, just more units in the point defense that will kill off the other tank. Ganelon probably doesn't want to attack here. It's going to be Vortex with the point defense and the ACU. But here, Ganelon with these tanks, they're just a bad response there from Vortex. Took out mask extractors, now have a chance to kill some power generators. It looks like these engineers for Ganelon are going to run away. And this is a very important fight, with Ganelon moving in. Vortex probably won't be able to hold on to that top corner. There's some Artie and the ACU standing by. And here, this point defense with 10 kills, a mistake seems from Ganelon that we missed. Probably shouldn't have went in there. And this tank from Ganelon, 8 kills, still alive. But now it's going to be the end for it. I had nowhere to run. Extremely good tanks though from Ganelon. And a successful drop now from Vortex. An engineer can capture some stuff. It looks like it's been spotted. Still haven't seen too much Tech 2 more victories for Ganelon. And Tech 2, Ganelon doing a little bit of upgrading. And for whatever reason decided not to go in with his ACU into this position. Has retreated. So safe gameplay. Because now it's going to be much more difficult as Vortex builds up more units. But at the same time, Ganelon just snuck in through the middle. And he's going to attack these factories. Looks like he's going to have numbers. 3 mask extractors, 3 factories. Looks like they're going to be lost. Vortex, meanwhile, is getting a nice force to counterattack in the bottom corner. Vortex, the beneficiary of getting 10 kills in this point defense. That would have been a nice force to help defend the bottom corner. And actually, Vortex in this position, except for this a bit of a disaster here for him. And those 3 mask extractors getting map control. And yeah, that was a nice capture there from Vortex. So both players playing quite well. One difference is though, actually Tech 2 mask extractors for both players. Ganelon not getting an upgrade. Been a massive assault now from Vortex on this position. And that's Tech 2. So Ganelon has now gone Tech 2 land. He is going to have major problems here on the right side. He is amassing a pretty large force to take over the top corner. And looks like the bottom corner is going to be lost for Ganelon with Vortex ACU moving in. Looks like these tanks, not microed by Ganelon, are going to be killed before they... Oh, it's going to be very close. They will take out the factory. So a successful mission there for Ganelon, but Vortex has engineers to solve the problem. At the same time, similar loss for Ganelon. Ganelon now with some Tech 2 flag, and we've seen how good he is with Tech 2. And this time choosing to go with pillars instead of Mongoose. Some retreating units for Ganelon as well. And some floating Artie for Vortex. Seraphim very good through these channels. So he's using the Seraphim advantage. And here a very important fight up on top. Point defenses and factories against numbers. But I think once Ganelon gets that upgrade, he should be able to run that over. Here a nice force. Ganelon waiting to get a couple of pillars to do something about this problem. But you can see a little more red now for Vortex than blue for Ganelon. We'll see if this Tech 2 land pays off, which he's actually not producing. In terms of air control though, Vortex in a significant advantage. Vortex taking over the right side. Yeah, this is the Vortex we know, not like in the last game. Very well played all around. Definitely one of the better air players. Having air control against Ganelon. Ganelon realizing this and making more air factories and actually putting a lot of build capacity on his air production. Tech 2 drop. Looks like ghettos. Tech 2 ghettos. Plan. Tech 2 air for Ganelon. He probably knows. I'm not really sure if he does. Vortex hiding here in this corner. But he might be thinking of a snipe. But that's going to be very difficult to do if he does not know where Vortex is and if Vortex is in the water. But this whole right side, very much a loss for Ganelon. Ganelon unable to break through. I think Ganelon did have that chance about 5 minutes ago to run in with this unupgraded ACU and take over that left corner. But it's definitely not over. Ganelon's still in good shape. I mean, it doesn't have actually too much mass. And he is definitely going for a snipe, but he does not know where Vortex is. It's very difficult to snipe when you don't know where it is that you're sniping. And it looks like instead of getting that tech to land, he went for the ghetto snipe option. That was probably a mistake. And this is a massive force now. The Vortex movement in is really going to solidify this position. Ganelon with the gun, not really using his ACU much. Looking for the ACU, and he's not finding it because the ACU is hiding in the water. Still looking. But looks like, yeah, this Air Force for Vortex is not responding. He should respond. And yeah, he's gonna go in, kill these ghettos. These ghettos need to be dropped off, otherwise there's gonna be a huge, huge loss. It's going to be a tragedy here, and oh, it's just terrible. That's a lot of dead mech marines there. Vortex is going to, after securing the top, he's going to move in on the ACU. Yeah, Vortex just sitting there. So Vortex winning the game by choosing the right place to sit. I think if Ganelon went, he was in a really good position. Instead of that tech to air, if he would have just gone with tech to land, he would have won this battle here, and he would have still had a very similar map control. But 17 minutes, a win for Vortex. So these players are now 1-1.